What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the land of reckless logic. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack the notification bell so do not miss any more posts from me. So let's get straight into this video because I have a lot of things to say. So just so you guys know, I will be playing some videos and I'm pretty sure I will be cursing and stuff. So with all of that being said, I do want to run my fair use disclaimer. So let's get straight into it because I know for a fact I'm about to get into the tea.
I'm in danger. I'm in danger. I'm in danger.
Disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 allows is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, always constructive. Comment down below. News reporting, I guess that's what we doing. Teaching, hopefully y'all learn something. Scholarship, we ain't got no money. Education and research so you can get a nasty piece of degree. Okay. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So how's everybody doing? How y'all doing today? Let me just pour me something to drink real quick before we even get started, because y'all already know when I get into this stuff, you already know my mouth be getting dry. So just in case, let's get straight. Alrighty. I got me like a little cute little thermos thing. It's cute. All right. So first things first, Brittney Griner, she's free, y'all. She's free. She's able to be in on. Hey, JT. What's going on, Mary? But yes, Brittney Griner, she is free. She has been set off, like she has been put into the atmosphere where the civilians are. She's able to go home to her wife. She's able to, which I'm pretty sure not tomorrow, but she's able to go home and also go back to work, which is of course being in the NBA, well, WNBA. But I do want to read something now. So yeah, she is free. That's the word I got today. Let me pull this bad boy up. Actually, let me put my banner up. I'm over here messing stuff up, y'all. All right, so let's get straight into it. So this bad boy here. Now, just so you guys know, I will not be playing the video, the audio, because this comes off like a news type of thing. And I know a lot of times with YouTube and news and stuff, they really be trying to get YouTube channels up out of here. And I'm not trying to be the example. Now, but however, this is the video where it says Brittney Griner is flying home after prisoner swap with Russia. Now, let's get straight into it. And we're going to talk about that too. So yes, this is the actual footage of actually showing Brittney Griner getting into vehicles, going into a plane, and basically making a safe trip to where she's able to go back home. Now, since I already watched this video, now let me tell you. Now, the first thing I did is that I went into the comment section because, you know, I like to see what the people are thinking. I like to see what they're saying, right? So I went to the comment section. So one person says, or they cut off her hair. I guess they're wondering why she has this cap on. Another person says, I pray she gets the therapy she needs for her mental health and well-being before just getting back in the flow of things. Because also keep in mind as well, too, guys, if you guys have not been keeping up with the case as in the details specifically, to my knowledge now, I think she was transferred to a certain sector or a certain section of the prison. So, but however, I've heard from sources that with this specific sector, it's really dangerous. And a lot of times people lose, I hate to say it like this, but people really lose their minds when it comes down to being in that section. And it's very dangerous for the sanity of the inmates, just about. Hey, what's going on, IG? What's going on, Green? All right, so now someone else said, actually, is this who I think it is? I think I know him. Oh, okay. I thought it was somebody that I knew because I was most definitely about to hit them up and we was gonna have a little conversation. Now, this other person, the one person that I thought that I knew was said, her voice deeper than mine. Dang. Another person says, that was an eerie look into the camera. I'm definitely saying a prayer for her. Glad Brittney Griner is coming home, but I'm not gonna lie. We got absolutely fleeced in the deal. That's a horrible prisoner swap. LOL. And we're gonna talk about that as well too. We're gonna get into that. All right, so that's the whole thing when it comes down to that. Okay. Let me see. What's this other thing given? Okay, so it's just a clip. Bam. Now, this is the actual video. Now, just so you guys know, this is the actual prisoner that she was swapped with. Victor Bout. Basically, this is the video of them actually making the swap. Okay, you can see them actually, making the actual swap. Yeah. Yeah, the people were in an uproar about this. Okay. Now, I actually want to read this actually. It says, announcing the exchange, President Biden said at the White House, she's safe, she's on the plane, she's on her way back home. After months of being unjustly detained in Russia, held under intolerable circumstances, Brittney will soon be back in the arms of her loved ones, and she should be there. She should have been there all along. This is the day we've worked toward for a long time. We've never stopped pushing for her release. Hey, Mary. Now it says TMZ has obtained video of the actual prison swap from Russian state media outlets. Of course, that's exactly what we just seen. Okay, so here we go. Now I actually want to go to the comments. Now the source says, they shook hands, but Britt got nothing but her bags carried. Be completely honest, I get what the source is saying, and trust me, we here. But I'm just glad to be home. Okay, this is what Russia wanted from the get up. All that went according to plan. Come on, Larry Reed. Another person says, I'm convinced TMZ has better intel than the government. Another person says, are you serious? Just like that? Question mark, question mark. Another person says, not TMZ getting the raw footage before Biden. And I wonder, who was that? Because my thing is, how were you able to get that footage of all of this stuff going on? I wonder, like, do they get raises and stuff if they get like exclusive things, because it obviously is going to bring traction to the site and to the company. So I wonder, like, do they get raises and stuff? Now I'm going to go read a couple more, then I'm going to continue. It says, I watched too much TV because why did I expect a shoot, girl, or dramatic escape, girl? Yep, you watch too much TV, baby. Honestly, wish they would have gotten the Marine that's been sitting there over there too. It's crazy that we released the Russian arms dealer and didn't grab the Marine too. Happy she's home, but really wish would have gotten the Marine and made a better deal. Actually, I want to see what the replies are saying on this, because I actually want to address that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Now, no, one person says yes. Another person says, respectfully for those saying this, but didn't do the research, the Russian government won't let the Marine go. So this is the best deal they could have made. Russia is treating Paul hostile. Yes, treating Paul hostile, and the U.S. doesn't understand the need, but it's because they think it's a bargaining chip. He's a bargaining chip, girl. Now, another person says they're not letting him go. He's accused of spying. Okay, so let me just continue, because we're actually gonna have to get into that stuff. No shade. Okay, is this the last one? Okay, now Donald Trump also decided that he had something to say about the decision that was made when it came down to, I'm about to say Breonna Taylor, when it came down to Brittney Griner being able to be released. Now Donald Trump speaks out on Brittney Griner's prisoner swap. What a stupid and unpatriotic embarrassment for the U.S. of A, baby. Now it says, and I quote, what kind of deal is it to swap Brittney Griner and a basketball player who openly hates our country for the man known as the merchant of, I'm not going to say all that because YouTube trying to get me up out of here, who is one of the biggest arms dealer anywhere in the world and responsible for tens of thousands of people being unalive and horrible and horrific injuries. Why wasn't former Marine Paul Whelan included in this totality one-sided transaction? He would have been let out for the asking. What a stupid and unpatriotic embarrassment for the U.S. of A. So let's go to the comment section when it comes down to this statement, y'all. Hey, Moesha. All right, y'all. So, no, y'all, no, my people just getting here, so y'all hear stuff in the background. Pretend like you don't hear it, okay? All right, so it says, now one person says, when is he going to jail? Oh, Lord, not everybody want him locked up. So why you ain't go get him? That's a valid question. Why he didn't free Whelan when he was in office? That's a good question. If Brittney Griner were not a famous basketball player, most people would not care that she was in prison. I can agree with that. There are thousands of others in prison in the U.S., and most of you don't even care. Would it be completely honest and just to actually refute that? It's not that we don't care, and I do agree that people don't care, but it's that if they're not really famous or don't have the notoriety, we just don't know. You get what I'm saying? People wouldn't know that. I'm just saying. He was sentenced June 2020 to 16 years during Trump administration. Trump did nothing, so why complain? Biden took office January 2021. He's right. The trade was not a good one. I mean, a vape and actually being a working citizen there and a supposed spy charged with espionage are two very different things. Okay, so let's just get into the tea. Let me just get into tea, y'all. Hey, what's going on, everybody in the chat? But let's actually get into the tea. Okay. Hold on, let me lubricate. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so let's be very clear. I'm actually glad that she's free. And I do want to read the article as well. I'm very much glad that Brittney Griner is free. I'm glad that she's free. I'm glad that she's able to go back home to her family. And I will agree, and like I literally just said, I will agree that the person that did actually said in the comments, I'm trying to quote it in my head, y'all. They said that a lot of people just don't care. A lot of people care because this specific person is a celebrity, and because there's a lot of people that's still overseas. But like I literally just said as well, it's not that we just don't care. It's just that since she is a celebrity, we're actually being notified about those things. Because let's also be very clear as well. There's a lot of people, regular people that are overseas, but we just don't know about it as in a public platform. Let's just call a spade a spade. To be completely honest, and I hate to beat up, maybe it's just me. I didn't know anything about the Marine being over there. That's just no shade. I didn't know nothing about it. No shade. All right, so let me actually read this article before I actually get into my thoughts. Because should I get into? Yeah, I'm gonna read the article, baby. But yeah, I'm really glad that she is home. I'm really glad that she's in a safe space. Because I do know for a fact, but at least to my knowledge, they did push her over to a different section where it was actually very much detrimental to her sanity. And I think I don't know how long has she been in there. I know she's been in there for a couple of months, but well, I don't know about a couple. I know she's been in there for some months. So hopefully she's still good when it comes down to her mental. But I know for a fact that they were using her for a as an example. Let me see. Is this the one? Okay, here we go. Let's get more details on this case. Now, this is, of course, is this art. Wait, is it pulled up on this end? Okay, it's pulled up. Now, this article is from Inside Biden. Well, it's from CNN Politics. All right, it says Inside Biden's antagonizing decision to take a deal that freed Brittney Griner but left Paul. Now, girl, you already know I be butchering these people's names. Blame it on my tongue, not my heart. Wheeling in Russia. That's what I'm guessing. That's how you say that. No shade. All right, now it says here. President Joe Biden has already personally informed Cheryl Griner that her wife was being released from Russian detention when aides arrived with more news. Brittney Griner was now securely out of Russia and on the telephone. It's Joe Biden, the president said when the call was patched through. Welcome, welcome home. Nearly 10 months. Oh, it was it was 10 months. Nearly 10 months after Brittney Griner was arrested at a Moscow airport, the jubilant moment, blame it on my tongue, not my heart, y'all, in the Oval Office on Thursday amounted to the accumulation of prolonged frustrating negotiations and one painful decision that left another detained American disappointed and wondering what his fate may be. In conversations across an array of government channels, Russian officials were clear with their American counterparts. They would release Griner and only Griner in exchange for a convicted Russian arms dealer nicknamed the Merchant of the End of Life. Because, girl, I'm not going to, girl, you know, I'm over here monetized now, girl. I don't need them trying to get me up out of here. Because the matter is exceedingly high profile, it was certainly those conditions have been set by Russian President, girl, Putin. I'm not going to try to, Vladimir, blame it on my tongue, down my heart, Putin. Where was I? Yeah, himself. One U.S. official said. Now it says, despite Biden's attempts to link Griner's case case to that of Paul Whelan. I'm calling Paul W. because I feel like why for some reason I feel like I'm messing up his last name. Hey, what's on top of the? I feel like I messed up his last name. Paul W., a former U.S. Marshal arrested on espionage charges in 2018 and sentenced to 16 years in prison 2 years later. It became plain recently that Putin would not budge. The choice was bringing Brittney Griner home right now or bringing no one home right now, one senior administration official said. With winter, I don't know why is this page got all this black right here, and then I got like this little thing, like this little bit to work with. With winter approaching at the penal colony where Griner, I keep saying Grinder, come on, Grinder and Scruff and Jack. Duplicate. While Griner was being held, Biden faced a singularly presidential decision. Welcoming Griner home would fulfill a promise and end the nightmare endured by her and her family. Now it says here, but any victory would be tempered by the inability to secure Whelan's freedom and inevitable blowback over the release of one of the most prolific arms dealers of the past decades. Now it says the situation was complicated further when senior law enforcement officials, angry at the prospect of releasing a notorious figure it had been taking years to capture and alarmed by the precinct bout's release, would raise strong objections. Now, before I even continue, let me do this. Actually, no, I'm gonna finish this out, then I'm gonna say what I want to say. So it says Biden took the deal. Brittney will soon be back in the arms of her loved ones, and she should have been there all along. That says the president said that from the reservoir room where I need some glasses, y'all, was joined by Griner's wife. This is a day we've worked toward for a long time. It says moments earlier in Abu Dhabi, girl, my tongue, not my heart. Griner had stepped from her transport plane into the Middle East air, 50 degrees warmer than Moscow, and smiled, a U.S. official said. Now, here's the thing. Let me just bring this down, y'all. Ooh, let me do this real quick. Blame it on my tongue, not my heart, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all thumbs up this video. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm really glad because I'm not gonna lie, I've actually seen other panels like go back and forth over this. To each his own, I get it. But let me say this. On the panel, they were really saying basically the same thing people were saying in the comments. This was not a fair trade, and here's the thing. And yes, we can't argue that it's not a fair trade. Yes, we can't argue that, you know, she hates this country and all these things. But let me just tackle both of those at the same time. Here's the thing. When it comes down to the government and it comes down to the law, we're not here to, well, I'm not going to say we. The government is not here to judge somebody. We're not supposed to judge somebody just because they have disagreements about certain things that's going on within this country. Because let's also be very clear, that's also the First Amendment right. You can believe what you want to believe. You think what you want to think. So if she did not want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, she didn't have to. If she didn't want to stand for the national anthem, she didn't have to. But that does not mean that she still wasn't done wrong. You get what I'm saying? So the fact that Donald Trump came along and actually tried to say, hold on, let me go back because I want to make sure I don't want to misquote him. Y'all make sure y'all thumbs up this video, y'all. Let me see, can I find this bad boy? So the fact that Donald Trump actually came out, and I wish I would have kept this other one, basically saying that, you know, it was a bad trade, all these things, but like someone else said, well, going by what somebody else said in the comments, is that, sir, you're trying to shit on them, but yet, let's be very clear. Russia made it clear that they weren't going to give up Wheeling. Is it Wheeling? Yeah, Wheeling. Like they wasn't giving up the Marine. They made it very clear, if you want Griner, you're going to have to let us swap out for the merchant of, God, I have to give him a different name, girl. Yeah, it's hard out here being monetized, because with that being said, certain things I can't say. Actually, am I past the 15-minute mark? Because once the 15-minute mark goes, I can curse. Am I past that? I'm been past that. Yeah, the merchant of motherfucking death. So, with that being said, what can you work with? It's like, what can you do? Are you just going to leave her over there, or are you just going to make the deal? Now, don't get me wrong. Even though I'm saying all of that, I get why people are saying like, yo, that's not a good deal. But however, that's the only thing that they had to work with. That was the only thing they were going to allow. Because keep in mind, it's different if America had the upper hand, as in they really wanted somebody desperately, and we had the power to say yay or nay. But however, those roles are reversed. We want two people desperately, but they have the power to say yay or nay. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I'm about to keep saying that because I don't want people thinking what I'm saying is BS. I get why people are saying what they're saying, but however, when you actually look at the odds and look what's actually going on, what other choices were they going to make? Because also in the exact same thing, Donald Trump, and this, I'm gonna be honest with you, between Donald Trump, Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, and probably some other people I can't name on the top of my dome right now, these three right here irk my soul. I'm gonna tell you reason why they irk my soul. They irk my soul because of the simple fact that they like to make strong opinions and make strong statements, but however, they're always very convenient. Sir, so basically, let's be very clear. You're trying to demonize them for, quote unquote, basically trying to make the best decision under very tough circumstances. But however, let's be very clear. You also, the exact same Marine you're trying to speak up for, he went to jail and he was caught, captured under your administration. He was caught and captured while you were the president. And don't get me wrong, this is not me speaking up for Biden, but this is me just actually being like real about it. Let's call a spade a spade. Let me continue. Because I'm not gonna lie, I actually seen like, and I'm gonna keep saying this, I've seen panels where like they're actually getting to like yada 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 yada. I'm like, oh girl. I guess now this right here says deal comes together. Because then maybe this article right here can give me some more insight. Now it says, by the start of this week, U.S. officials have grown confident a resolution to Griner's case was not only possible, but probable. Biden gave final approval to the parameters of the deal and set in motion the prisoner swap. Now it says the decision was shared with only a tight-knit group of U.S. officials to prevent the news from breaking before Griner was in U.S. custody. One U.S. official explained, U.S. officials were concerned about Russia pulling back on the promise after repeated warnings from the Kremlin, girl, baby, on my tongue, down my heart, that the matter should not be discussed in public. They were also, girl, I done lost my spot. Okay, on the ongoing war in Ukraine, where was I? God dang it. Oh, yeah. That any major escalations had the potential to derail the plan. So concerned were White House officials that the fragile deal could collapse, that Biden didn't sign he didn't sign them papers. Oh, of course, for about until Griner was on the ground in Abu Dhabi. and in the sight of the U.S. greeting party. Now it says Griner's wife, who arrived in Washington on Wednesday, was invited to an early morning meeting at the White House set for Thursday. She was initially scheduled to meet with National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, who had been briefed her several times over the course of the negotiations. Griner, by that point, had been moved from the penal colony where she'd been held to Moscow, a concrete sign of an intimate, there we go, of an immediate resolution, where Sherelle Griner arrived at the White House for the meeting with Sullivan. It had become apparent that, girl, I keep losing my spot. I need some glasses. Apparent that the critical question was no longer if her wife would be released, but when. It's a Sherelle Griner waited at the White House for a short period of time before it became clear the planned meeting with Sullivan had shifted. Ooh, girl. One person in particular wanted to deliver the official news that Griner's nearly 10-month ordeal had come to an end. Now, hold up, y'all. Let me lubricate. Oh, girl. She was led onto the Oval Office where Biden was waiting to tell her Griner was officially on her way home. I bet she was crying like I don't know what, and rightfully so. Griner's flight to freedom marked a moment officials acknowledged was only the first step of what we were likely to be a difficult and emotionally jarring process of the professional athlete in the weeks and months ahead. A range of support programs developed across the U.S. government over years to address the needs of detainees and hostages returning to the U.S. have been prepared for Griner to utilize. And here's the thing, and this is the reason why, when let me see. Let me bring this down because I want to see y'all face to face. And here's the thing when it comes down to it is like a lot of people say you guys don't care. But here's the thing about it. Like there are programs out there that actually that's their calling. Like that's what they're meant to do. That's what they're there to. They are there to bring U.S. Citizens that have been detained. Girl, I can't talk right now. Let me give some water. There we go. That have been detained. There we go. Come on, lubrication. That have been detained and making sure that they come back home to the U.S. Because, now to my knowledge, I only been in jail once, and even then I wasn't really in jail. I was just in a holding cell. Last retrograde. To my knowledge, jail overseas, prison overseas, it's like I gotta be careful because I'm monetized now. It's like a death wish. Ooh, hopefully I don't get trouble for that. But however, us being over here, it's more tolerable. It's still messed up, but it's more tolerable. Hold up, y'all. So, like this whole idea that people saying you guys don't care, keep in mind, y'all, we just don't know. That's not something, unless that's your calling. That's not really something that I guess everyday Americans, and it's probably fucked up to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. That's something we don't think about. We don't think about, oh my God, who got arrested overseas and now they have to come back over to the U.S. That's not an everyday thing. These kids are loud in the background, girl. Like people don't think about that. That's just no shade. And that's not being me. That's not me being rude. That's just me being honest. Girl, they are arguing in the background. Girl, this is so ghetto. Let me see. Okay, it says Biden, who had been briefed on what may lie ahead, according to officials, made his own public plea as he announced Griner's release. Every time I see her name, I be want to say Grinder. Like, come on, Grinder, scruff and jacked. Now it says the fact remains that she lost months of her life, experienced a needless trauma, and she deserves space, privacy, and time with her loved ones to recover and heal from her time being wrongfully detained, he said. Okay, here we go. Now it says cases intertwined. A star athlete with an outspoken wife and a dedicated base of supporters, including several fellow celebrities, Griner's case captured public's attention and heaped pressure on Biden to secure her release over the past year. Now it says the White House does, and that's another thing too. It's like that like for some reason when I heard the whole thing about the public's attention, the thing that popped in my head was when people was like so quick to just throw people away. And that's the thing that was kind of like irritating me, is because people, non-melanated people, are the ones literally saying things along the lines of, oh, she doesn't care about this country. Why should we go back to save this person? But yet they're not really. It's gaslighting, because the question is why? Why wouldn't she, as a melanated person, whether you want to consider her black or not, melanated person, not really care for this country, or have that belief that they don't want to care for this country? You get what I'm saying? Like people are so stuck on the reaction, but they're not really stuck on the cause of that reaction. Why would that be an issue? Or why is Brittney, quote unquote, thinking like that? But however, people stick with the reaction because they actually don't want to deal with the actual initial problem. Okay. Okay, it says the White House described her suffering intolerable circumstances during her detention, and there have been concern about the health and well-being of Griner, who is black and a lesbian. Okay, so she is black. Well, some people may not because she likes it, but whatever. While detained in Russia. Her case also served to amplify the plight of Whelan, whose arrest on espionage charges led to a conviction in 2020 and a 16-year prison sentence. U.S. officials have called the trial unfair and say that the charges are manufactured. Come on, manufactured. Okay, now it says here, in July, Griner wrote a letter to Biden saying she was terrified I might be here forever. She asked him to do all he could do to bring her home. At the White House, Biden met with Griner's wife for the first time to show her the letter he was sending in response. It was later that month the White House made the unusual decision to reveal publicly it had placed a significant offer on the table to secure both Griner and Whelan's release. For Griner and Whelan, they were willing to exchange Victor Bout, who was convicted in 2011 on charges including conspiring to hurt American citizens. Okay, it says American officials voiced intense frustration that Russia seemed to reject the proposal. Okay, so here's the thing. And it's the question. It's like the more I read it, the more questions I start to have, which is good. Come on, commentary. My question is this: like, my thing is this: if Griner was not able to be taken home, and because like it's saying that the attempt was being able to allow the Marine to come home, because I always forget his name every 2.5 seconds. Allow the Marine to come home. I believe his name was Paul. Allow Paul to come home and also Griner to come home. But yet, the people who have the power at that specific point, which were Russia, they had to say so. It's their jurisdiction. They said yes to Griner, but no to the Marine. So my question is this: I get it. We're glad that they're home. Like, we're glad that she's home. Cool. But what do you guys, and sound off, let me know. But what did you expect for them to do? To just leave her? Leave both of them? If you can't get one, if you can't get the one that you probably should go for real, leave both of them. I'm trying to see, because if that was the only deal and there was no budging, what did people expect for that to happen? Leave her over there? Like, I really want to know. Like, I really expect, especially when people have this the idea of, damn, that was a bad trade. I get it, but what did you expect them to do? Don't get me wrong, we here, but what do you expect them to do? No shade. I'm just saying, they all out, all in my background. Okay, I'm not gonna read all of this. I'm just gonna read this and then I'm gonna be done. No, I'm gonna read all of it. Now it says, what was I? Okay, it says behind the scenes, Russian officials told their counterparts that releasing two detained Americans for one Russian prisoner was a non-starter. Yet, when American officials sought to raise other options that would secure Whelan's release alongside Griner's, they were met with significant resistance. A senior administration official said that the U.S. had tried to articulate other options, other categories of options to create the space to really have the haggling that we want to have. Describing the other categories of as involving individuals in U.S. custody. If you're haggling, you're getting closer, the official said. And instead, we have had no change or softening of a response that is simply a demand for something we just can't provide because it's not something in our control. And it says here, as it became clear that Whelan would not be released alongside Griner, Whelan's sister was visited in person by senior U.S. government officials to share and talk through the news. The news. It says another senior U.S. official spoke at length Thursday with Whelan himself. In a phone call with CNN on Thursday, Whelan voiced his frustrations that more has not been done to secure his release. Then he's been in since 2018. I was arrested for a crime that never occurred, he said. From the he's in that colony. Dang, like okay, so they really be putting all these people in all these colonies. Dang. From the penal colony. Remember, y'all, that's the same colony that they switched Brittney to. And when she was over there, they were saying this is the real one of the worst colonies to be in, or where section to be in, where he was being held in a remote part of Russia. I don't understand why I'm still sitting here. Paul Whelan's sister, Elizabeth Whelan, spoke with Biden on Thursday afternoon. She told CNN. She described it as a good call. Ooh. So, what's your thoughts? What are your thoughts? And that's really all, because we do have the Merchant of Death over here. Well, a little bit left. I can read this. Okay, so remember, y'all, now we're actually going to get into the Merchant of Death. This is Victor Bout. Girl, I'm probably butchering his name, but blame it on my tongue, not my heart, y'all. Now it says, as the outlines of the deal emerged over the past week, White House officials briefed of the U.S. government agencies that the Russians would only agree to swap Bout for Griner. Justice Department officials who were always opposed to releasing Bout expressed frustration that an earlier deal that included Whelan had, in their view, gotten worse. Jesus. Now it says, one official saw law enforcement officials raise strenuous objections, but were told the decision had been made. For law enforcement officials from the FBI and the Drug Enforcement Administration, which spent years and elaborate efforts to try to capture Bout. Now it says the release of Bout raised additional concerns about the precedent, girl, my tongue, y'all, the precedent the deal could set. Oh, girl, you know, the thing they be getting, like, that gets me with reading is that my tongue be like getting heavy at times, and then I feel like a lot of spit just be like in the front of my mouth. Gotta swallow it back down, y'all. Now it says the Biden administration conducted a security assessment in the lead up to Biden giving the final green light to accept the deal to trade Griner for Bout. Ultimately, the assessment's conclusion was that Bout was not a security threat to the U.S. Oh, a U.S. official told CNN. So he's not a security threat. Girl, I wonder if that actually true, or did they just say that just to say that? Because, girl, last time they said, girl, I'm gonna leave that alone. I work for the government. I can't say it. But like, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Last time they had said that, which president was that? Was that Bush? I think it was Bush. Bush said, yeah, we shouldn't have nothing to worry about, yada 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 yada. But then 9/11 happened, and then to my knowledge, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, later on we found out that they knew that they were getting threats or something along them lines. Now I could have gotten that wrong, but that's what I heard. Y'all let me know if I'm correct or if not. Y'all just let me know. All right, so told you CNN. Now says one reality the assessment took into account. The official said is the fact that Bout has been in prison for over a decade. It has not been actively engaged in any recent criminal activity. Now it says other than to say that the security assessment conducted on Bout was thorough, the official would not elaborate further on how the U.S. was able to be certain that the Russian arms dealer wouldn't pose a future risk to the country. Girl. The publicity surrounding Griner, including celebrities posting criticism of the Biden White House on social media for not moving more quickly to secure her release, appeared to raise the Russian price for Griner's release, law enforcement officials said. So it's the fact that we were, all of us, we were so much in an outrage, and Russia knew. Come on, look at Russia over there, paying attention to over here to America in everything we got going on. But it's just the fact that we were such in an uproar and making it known that we did not like this. This was wrong. Russia upped their prices. They said, bitch, at first it was $2.99, now it's $7.99. Okay. Let me see. Okay, it says that added to concerns that the deal increases the likelihood that Russia, Iran, and other countries could use the arrest of Americans to try to use the publicity to gain concessions the U.S. otherwise wouldn't give. Now it says, speaking Thursday, an administration official rejected the notion that Bout's release set a new precedent for securing the release of Americans, and gave hostile governments would be mistaken if they interpret Thursday's swap that way. Come on, them trying to make sure that they don't set a precedent. Okay. Any interference. Oh, girl, they all loud in the background, girl. Now it says any interference that somehow this has become the norm would be mistaken, and I don't think governments around the world would be wise to draw that interference, the official said. But in the rare case when there is a imperative to Americans' home, which is a real priority for this president, there sometimes are no alternatives left, and a heavy price has to be paid. Okay. Girl, my tongue is tired. Okay. Here's the thing. Let me just, y'all make sure you thumbs up this video. Make sure you thumbs up this video, y'all. Girl. Now, I didn't think that article was going to be that long, no shade, but it was very much insightful. And it basically confirmed based on the article, it basically confirmed everything I was thinking. If they had the option to be able to bring the Marine home, they would have brought the Marine home. That's just no shade. I don't think anybody that specifically put their lives on the line for the U.S. government. I don't believe, I could be wrong now, I don't believe they just would have left them out there. Trust me, I don't think that would have been and plus on top of that, y'all, let's just be honest, that's a white man too. So I don't think they would have just left him out there. That's just me being honest. But when it comes down to people giving criticism, I do believe they need to do a little bit more researching, reading, digging a little bit deeper into these issues so then they can get more of an understanding of what actually happened, what actually occurred. And I'm going to say this. I do agree that it was not a fair deal. It was not a fair deal. But at the same time, what other option did the U.S. have? Either take nobody was going to be able to go home, or we could just get one. And then on top of that, when I read the article, and I'm kind of glad it actually continued, is that they had to go and do an analysis. And with the analysis, the man hasn't done anything in 10 years. Now, with me saying that does not mean he won't do anything as soon as his ass get out of there. That's the reason why I also said that it's kind of a bad deal. But at the same time as well, America has one of the best armies and stuff. So I'm neutral when it comes down to it. I understand both sides of it. I get it, honestly. But let's continue, because now we have to talk about Miss Cardi B. So let me go back to this, baby. Let me go back over here. So yeah, so now we're going to talk about Cardi B. So Cardi B decided she wanted to step in, and actually she wanted to step in on the conversation surrounding the 50-50 relationships, the notorious debate. Okay. So actually this debate recently was brought up by Glorilla. Of course, the Glorilla rapper FNF. You know, I can't really say. Well, actually, I'm past the 15-minute mark. Fuck nigga free. That rapper. Okay, Glorilla. I love me some Glorilla. So she decided that she wanted to go online and give certain thoughts when it comes down to certain issues and stuff. And it seemed like she got a lot of traction. People like the way that she articulates herself, the way that she speaks. Because I think, and I will say this, I think it's like people think that she just might be dumb because the way that she may sound, or the way that her accent may come off to some people's ears. But I guess the way that she actually thinks is what catches people off guard. And plus, she's a rapper, and people have these preconceived notions. If you're a thug, rapper, you're dumb. On a subconscious level, no shade. Because if that's the case, a lot of them wouldn't be surprised that the girl is actually smart in a sense. But don't get me wrong, because I did see a video of her have a questionable moment. No shade. Let me see. Can I bring this up, baby? So this is it right here. Now, that social media reacts to Glorilla doubling down, because she did receive, I think, some pushback or whatever, on her comment that you're supposed to go 50-50 in a relationship. You are broke and couldn't do that. Girl, come on, right in the voice. That's my bitch. I love him. Now Glorilla says, I'm really done with this 50-50 conversation, but I can for sure tell you who be having to pack up and go back to their mama house after a breakup. You ain't lying. The real question is, now someone else wrote, the real question is, would you have the same energy when you was broke and almost homeless? Would you still go 50-50? If you didn't have rapper money, people our age can't afford rent nowadays, and here you go with this BS. Like, shut the up. Girl, y'all are really mad. Girl, I love you through stuff, but come on now. Before you made it, bring you was broke and couldn't do that. Don't bash your fans, because we know the celebrities can do it. Therefore, you are talking about us. Don't run out. Girl, what the hell are you? And okay, people saying a whole bunch of craziness. Now let's get into the actual comments. Okay. As you guys can probably already see by the way I'm actually responding, you already know where the hell I'm about to go with this. Okay. So come on, Rodney the Voice. Now, by the way, y'all, shout out to Rodney the Voice. I actually watch him like all the time. I make sure y'all go subscribe to him. Check him out. He's funny to me. Now, he says absolutely nothing wrong with going 50-50, but it's weird to hear women and men going 50-50, but screaming their man and men also beating their chest that he is the head of house, the provider and leader. Y'all want to give and have traditional titles, but not be in the traditional relationships. I'm just saying. You can't be those things, but your girl giving half of any of the bills. Argue with the bill collector, not me. Girl, let me see. Because girl, we had 2 replies. Oh, girl. Girl, no, okay, now I gotta. Okay, let me see what this person wrote, because he wrote a lot. Well, she wrote, I don't know who the person is. Let's be real. You can walk up to a man and tell him you're supposed to provide, protect, clean, cook. Why he spaced it out like that? Cook, clean, and take care of kids. They'll agree. But if you ask one woman on here if she should be able to do any of those things, they'll be appalled you even asked them. It's offensive to think a woman would watch the kids cook, or even, girl, why did he say, girl, he should have checked his spelling. Bitch, you got all these damn laughing emojis. You should did some correction on this spelling. Cook or even clean if you were providing 100%, like you think little baby girl does anything. Okay, here's the thing. So this is what Cardi B had to say, because she did step in.
Comes to 50-50 with a nigga, it really, really depends. I am not totally against 50-50. Like, as much as I be like, because it really depends on your situation, on your lifestyle, right? If you and your nigga make 50,000 a year, right? Each 50,000 a year, and y'all planning to buy a house, but only your nigga is contributing to the bills, to the fucking food, to the rent. Bitch, y'all never gonna buy a fucking house. You ain't never gonna buy a motherfucking house. But and that goes if you want to be part of something, you know, like unless you want to like just be a house bitch, but like once you a house bitch, you don't got no say so and nothing.
You're not a house bitch.
You can't you like, and a nigga could kick you out whenever the fuck. Have you ever been kicked out by a nigga? I've been, bitch, and I don't fucking like that feeling. That's why you gotta be. That's why it's always gotta be like, kick me out, nigga. Fuck you mean? My shit's on the lease too.
Girl.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a bad feeling. A nigga kicked me out before and I was dumb tired. I was like, I'm going. Bitch, you know where I went? When that nigga kicked me out. Well, if you're from New York, you know that when you go up to the roof, there's like a little floor on the roof before you open it. I went up there, bitch. I slept there when a nigga kicked me out. That's why I don't like.
Okay. So that's what Cardi B had to say, y'all. Forgive me, I'm over tuna ice, y'all. Okay. So let's see what some of the people are saying. Some people had to say that. I'm gonna give my thoughts on it because, girl, I'm not gonna lie. Hearing some people speak on issues like this, like, don't get me wrong. When I have like my regular like friend group, or I'm meeting new people, or anything like that, I ask certain questions to kind of see what people's minds are at. And this is the question I will ask. Or it's like just to see what people's minds are at when it comes down to me having a hint, a peek. I can look through a window of, let me see the way that you really think. Like, how does your mind operate? So I'm gonna get into that 2.5 seconds. One person says, y'all just heard it come out of a millionaire's mouth. In a relationship, y'all are a team. Sometimes it might be 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 100-0. Stop watching pockets. Whatever works for y'all, as long as y'all are happy, in love, and making it work. Who cares? What works for your relationship works for your relationship. Let's end this convo in an hour. Thanks. Girl, everybody, here's the thing that give me what these comments says. Everybody be having full-fledged essays. Another person says, y'all don't even think 50-50 means split the last bill down to 50%. No, it means being equal and both should be adding value the same. The 100% don't look the same as my man's 100%. We both bring different strengths and values to our relationship, but we do it together as a unit. Come on, all caps. A lot of women have no problem letting their man carry the weight of the world by themselves. I'm not going for it. Call me a pick-me, but a partnership is made up of two, not one. Y'all stay safe, though. I'm so tired of this conversation, girl. Me too. I'm sure. Giving someone that much power would never be it. Have your own, ladies, period. Okay, here's the thing. So let me just stop doing this because you're already done. Okay, here, let's be very clear. Actually, let me see what some of you guys are saying. Moish, what you over here, who said y'all was buying a house? Maybe sis stacking her cash to buy a house and be solo dolo. That's no shade. But let me say this. Now, if y'all know anything about me, I'm sucking on ice, y'all. If y'all know anything about me, y'all already know what I'm about to say. Gender roles are stupid. That's just no shame. Gender roles don't make any sense. And this is a perfect example of what I mean when I say not only do men believe in gender roles, and this is not even directed towards Cardi or even Glorilla, women do too. And the reason why it doesn't work is because it's the fact that at once upon a time these gender roles worked perfectly. Of course, your man was probably the provider. Because guess what? And I say this all the time, women were not allowed to work. Okay? So yes, with men and women, there was a, guess what? A sexist gap in between the two sexes. Between a man and a woman. If you're a man, you're going to make more. If you're a woman, you're going to make less. That's a fact. Then not only that, let's add race into that equation as well. There was a racial gap in between the races. I'm about to say in between the sexes. So you add both of those two factors into the equation, it doesn't make sense for us to follow gender roles. And then you also take into account, I'm having a black context, melanated context. If you take into account that statistically, black women make more money than black men. Statistically, and I know there's always exceptions, but I'm not talking about the exception. I'm talking about the rule. Black women make more money than black men. Black women make more money than black men, statistically. So even following or having this idea of gender roles, I'm sorry, you're always going to be disappointed. That's just no shade. And that's no shade. Now, and also statistically as well, too, men, it statistically shows that men are also being disappointed by the gender roles as well. It's them being able to take care of the bills, take care of the house, take care of this, take care of that. It doesn't even work out for them as well, too, because statistically they're depressed, they're stressed out like I don't know what. They're emotionally and physically drained of the very little of emotion that they have left. They're drained. So this whole idea of thinking I'm a man, I gotta do this, and I'm a woman, I gotta do this. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm sorry, and I say this all the time. The shit is stupid. The reason why it's stupid is because of the simple fact that I'm a grown ass adult. I'm not looking for no woman to take care of my kids because I can do that myself. I'm not looking for no man to take care of me because I can do that myself. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I got people all in my background, all loud. But like, it doesn't make, all right, y'all, I'm on live. Every once in a while, I got to give them a reminder. But like, it doesn't make any sense at all. So I don't know. So let me see. So true. The subject is way too relative for there to be a one-stop shop sense of mind on this, which is why there will forever be an argument about it until we all stop. And this is the thing: we just need to let go all them stupid ass, let go of them stupid, silly ass ideas. When we actually get rid of those ideas, I promise you, things will be so much better. I promise you. And the reason why the whole gender role thing doesn't really work out, or people want you to have your own, because you're a fucking adult. You're an adult. And like, people who went through the whole gender role thing of you're gonna pay for this, pay for that, is that you have experiences that you can possibly end up in a bad situation, as in they can kick you out. And I get it. You're supposed to love your partner, trust your partner, but at the same time, you're also supposed to cover yourself. Make sure that yourself is protected. Make sure that you got you. Yes, I love you, trust you, but I want to make sure I got me as well. And my thing is, why do you want that? Like, I think that's the thing that's interesting to me. It's like me trying to understand, why do you want somebody to pay stuff for? Why don't you want ownership of something? Why don't you want your name on the lease? Why don't you want your own source of income? Like, why don't you want those things? I know why, but I want other people to ask, why don't you want those things? Why wouldn't you want your own freedom? You get what I'm saying? So when it comes out to these conversations, I don't know. I do believe gender roles are weaponized, of course. I think typically some, not all, all, but not some, not all, not all. I gotta say it 20,000 times for y'all. Not y'all, but them over there. Typically, I would say men weaponize gender roles to dominate, and I believe women weaponize gender roles to make dog whistles. And what I mean by that is that when it comes down to men using gender roles to dominate, I think in the sense of when it comes down to being able to quote unquote submit I think that's the way to be able to dominate. And then I also think women use gender roles to have dog whistles, as in weaponizing a man being able to show emotion or being able to express the feminine energy within himself. Once again, if this does not apply to you, it does not apply. But that's what I think the whole thing when it comes to gender roles. Let all that shit go. Let it go. It's not serving you. It's not serving your man. It's not serving your girl. Let it go. Your wife, nothing. So just let it go. All right. So now we're going to get into the nitty gritty, the last little bit of this segment of the show. We're going to talk about TJ Holmes. Now, TJ Holmes and Amy Robach, girl, you know her name, girl. Anyway, there are news anchors on the Good Morning America TV show, morning show. And so apparently some images ended up getting released of them, I guess, being extra close, cozy at a bar. And it ended up making like its way around in social media. And so when people had their speculations of what's going on, aren't they just friends? What seems to be like the situation going on? TJ and also Miss Amy most definitely brought their ass over to Good Morning America. I want to say that Friday. They came in, they made a little joke about it. But however, I do want to let you guys know that GMA, Good Morning America, most definitely tapped both of them hoes on their shoulder, said, excuse me, miss, excuse me, sir. I need both of y'all to step in this office. And so they were put on suspension. Now, to my knowledge, it was just suspension. I don't know if they actually been fired, but they have been put onto suspension. Now, here's the thing, girl. People were up in an uproar about them being put on suspension. Y'all make sure y'all thumbs up this video, y'all. People were like really upset about them being put on suspension. But here's the thing, like I still gotta. Now, when it comes down to them being fired, I don't know if they're gonna be fired or not. Because on one article I read, it said that they did not break company rules, and then on another article I read, they did break company rules, or they possibly broke company rules. So I don't know about the firing part. So I don't know if they're gonna get fired from Good Morning America. But I will say this: I'm not shocked if they're not fired to be put into like somewhere in the background, because people have to realize is that when you are the face, it's one thing if you just work in the background and then people just find out like about something, but it's different when you're the face of a company, organization, foundation, something that's real solid. Any type of bad press, oh baby, you gonna either get suspended, get put into the background, get fired. That's gonna happen. And I feel like a lot of times people who, I feel like, I don't know why people think just because something like and that's another thing too, they both married. I think that's the thing as well too. People not understanding that if you're married and you're the face of a company or organization, you can possibly lose your job because it's considered bad press. Now, I will say this as well. I think a factor that also plays a part is that if you're not so high on the totem pole of the company, if you're not into like high levels in the company, then it probably wouldn't really affect you like that personally. But if you're like the CEO of Amazon, or you're like or like the a high-ranking person in the company, and you got a whole bunch of bad press coming to the company, they're gonna get rid of you for the most part. I think it's safe to say they're probably gonna get rid of you. No shade. So, for example, in the Army. Now, this is what I think, y'all, because this is what I think. In the Army, there is a thing where, from what I hear, you can get in trouble for infidelity. Like if you're cheating on your spouse, you can get in trouble. That's what I heard. I ain't got no spouse, nor have I cheated, so I don't know. But I heard that you can get in trouble. Here's the thing, though, is that I know also in different organizations and stuff, there are rules put in place But I also know there are people who know of those rules but don't reinforce those rules. So you never know. You might come across a person within a company, organization that knows the rules and also reinforces the rules as well. So I don't know. And I also think this as well too, because I also heard that both of them allegedly, I don't know how true this is, but this is what I heard, the grapevine, y'all. I've also heard allegedly that both parties have been married multiple times. And to my knowledge, Amy allegedly cheated on her last marriage or whatever. And I know for a fact there was an article that came out that said that TJ was sleeping with everybody. He was sleeping with multiple people inside of the company. And so I was like, damn, that's just, he just land dick everywhere, girl. He just slanged it everywhere. But yeah, so and that's another thing as well too. You can't be out here sleeping around with everybody in the company, because 9 times out of 10, keep in mind, y'all, like, it's one thing if a company has a clause saying that no workers cannot sleep together or nothing like that, even though we know that happens. And I'm pretty sure up in Good Morning America, there are people sleeping around with each other all the time. But yet, here's the thing. You guys were just messy enough and sloppy enough that you guys got caught. And people was able to take a picture of you. So, yeah, I think what they're going to do, if not anything, I don't know if they're going to fire. I know they're suspended right now, but I don't know if they're going to fire. And if I know anything about from a historical aspect, the white woman, she going to be okay. She going to make it out. Now, TJ Black ass, on the other hand, I don't know. But if I think I know what I think I know, they're going to make, if I think it's going to go the way that I think they're going to make, if not her and if not him, they're going to make one or both of them an example. Or they just might show some mercy. But I'm actually looking more into to see what actually goes on with the with TJ and Amy. But that's really all I really got to say, y'all. That's really all I got to say. Oh, y'all, by the way as well, because I'm already at the end of my show. Just so you guys know, okay, let me know. Can you guys hear that in the background? Type 1 for yes, 2 for no. Okay, so let me say this. Guys, I have a panel coming up. The panel starts in January. The panel technically February. But however, the panel is called the Reckless Bureau. In the Reckless Bureau, I'm going to have panelists come up. It's going to be a set panel. And on that panel, we're going to talk about sensitive topics that can be ranged from anything: homophobia, transphobia, racism, etc. But I will say this, is that in the panel, whatever, you're able to drop comments and stuff. And of course, I will be able to highlight those comments and allow the panelists to be able to answer those questions directly. If there's something that, oh, thank you, Mary. Oh, you can't hear it, girl. You know, I'll be trying. I just so happen to get online with everybody else want to come up. But yeah, so that panel will be coming up. I am promoting that panel on my Instagram. Please make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. That's when I most definitely give out the most recent and accurate updates. But also as well too, that I am using my community tab more often. I'm trying to be more consistent with that. So, but however, with that being said, that is it for my commentary video for today, guys. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack the notification button. Now, it's 12 of y'all up in here. Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up. Please, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And by the way, as well too, I really appreciate anybody who have given me any cash apps, any donations. I really do appreciate it. I do not have my phone right now, so I can't check to see who has done it. But thank you guys so very much. Until next time, guys, I will see you guys later.